War is raging, government is stealing our freedom, food processing plants are burning, and gun sales are through the roof. You're in the right place. This is The Prepared Mind.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Free for All Friday on the Prepared Mind channel. It has been a hell of a week, and I think I've discovered the plan of the Democrat Party. No secret, their plan is to wear us down, to deny us any victories, to screw with our heads and make us just give up. Well, I'm not going to give up, but I'm also not going to I'm not going to put all of my hope and eggs in one basket the way so many people are doing, thinking that everyone that comes along is going to be the next savior, the next hero. And Uman and I talked about this in the pre-show discussion, and I was going to let it slide, but I can't help it. I talked about Janine Perot this morning in the Zero Dark 30. It's not that I don't think she's a patriotic person or smart or willing to try and do good things, but I hope she's the hero, but I doubt she's going to be the hero that steps up and says, fuck all of you, and just starts throwing bad guys in jail. I don't think that's going to happen. We need to realize until we actually finally do get one of these savior types that actually does something, a Pete Hegseth type, and look at the flack he's gotten. I mean, look how they tried destroying him over false rape allegations, sexual assault allegations, name it, with, well, leaking communications and sensitive Department of Defense data. Meanwhile, we get nothing but fucking leaks from Trump haters and the Senate and Congress and the Supreme Court and the media. Yeah, it's hypocrisy 101, folks. But we do need to continue to get rid of these scumbags, kind of like the acting FEMA chief. This jackass's name is Cameron Hilton, and he got escorted out of the headquarters because what did he do? He defied the plans that Trump has to abolish the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, isn't that for emergencies? Let's see, we had 2 hurricanes, fires, floods, and they ran out of money for Americans. Oh, you want $700? Yeah, that'll fix my $100,000 fucking disaster. Thanks a lot, FEMA. But they had plenty of money. FEMA money ended up in the hands of illegal immigrants. Anyways, this jackass got walked because he got caught. We need more of that. Very simple stuff. Just kick his ass right the fuck out. Now, this is the Friday Free-for-All. I'm going to do one more article, one more story, and I want to get to what you guys are thinking. We're going to go back and forth shotgun. Me, you, and just see what's on your mind. A lot has happened. A lot has happened this week, today, and there's a lot coming. So if you want to talk about last week, this week, or next week, last year or next year, it's your choice on the Friday Free-for-All. If you're on thepreparedmind.club or subscribestar.com or X, you're here live with us right now. One of the most disgusting, filthy, racist pieces of shit in Congress is a woman named Jasmine Crockett. And she went and once again attacked you, veterans, patriots, Americans. If you're a Republican, she said, you're, quote, inherently violent. I'm pretty fucking Republican. I'm really damn conservative. I am a fucking veteran and a patriot, just like you guys. And this bitch wants to call me and you and us inherently violent. She also said that we're domestic terrorists. Based on what? Based on absolutely no facts, no evidence, no examples. This is Jasmine Eyelashes Crockett. super hoe, ghetto slime, piece of trash, race baiting, race card playing, anti-American, anti-white, just trash. She says that as Republicans, we are lined up. We align with, we're simpatico with the KKK. Did you guys know that? Did you know that? Well, the KKK was started by Democrats. In fact, many Democrat congressmen and senators, all the way past the year 2000, were KKK members, including Senator Robert Byrd, I believe of West Virginia, who was the grand high dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, revered, loved. They held a memorial for him after he passed away. Hillary Clinton said he inspired her life. A fucking Klansman, Democrats, all of them. But this dumb, see you next Tuesday, Jasmine Crockett wants to say you are the KKK and you are violent and you are terrorists. Now, if you tell a bunch of Republicans, you guys are terrorists, so what? Right? But the Democrats, folks, will go, oh, then you're bad guys, and we should be violently assaulting you guys. That's what they think in their heads, in their itty-bitty little pea brains. That's what they think. Well, if we're violent, if we're terrorists, if we're the Ku Klux Klan, then we need to be assaulted, beat. Now, if someone accused Democrats of being communists, KKK, terrorists, because that's what they are, tell me that burning $4.5 billion worth of property by Antifa and BLM, tell me attacking colleges, breaking in, setting fire, attacking and killing people. Oh yeah, that's what the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian crowds do. They're not terrorists. They're not inherently violent. Right? No, that's exactly what they are. This is projection by Jasmine Cunt Crockett. I hate her. I can't stand that bitch because she lies. Fucking lies. Unbelievable who these people are and the things they say. Mr. Uman, I know we're starting the show off. It is the Friday free for all. Who out there has something to say? What do we want to discuss? And we're going to start with Badass Diving Frog on this free for all Friday. And he said, John, did you notice that the new Pope is not rainbow friendly? I see a new group of bullshit standing by on deck to be unleashed on us at a predetermined point in the future. They claim, or the Pope claims to be Republican from Chicago, because that's pretty common and frequent, right? The new Pope does not like America because we like our borders and our protection, even though the Pope is an American. First American Pope ever. A white guy. I don't know if he's rainbow friendly or not. But since the popes have all been for the last, 30 years, they all seem to be aligned with socialists, globalists, and Democrats. So if he's pretending to be more conservative, it is pretense. It is to fool people and lull them into complicity with whatever he says. Now, speaking of rainbow friendly, I believe 2 states here in the United States of America, 2 states are looking to adopt the trans homosexual fruitcake flags as the state flag. Why are they doing such a thing as that? Because the law says you will not fly fruitcake flags. So they're going to make that a state flag. You imagine living in a state where the government votes to change your flag to that of people who like to groom children as sex toys. States want to change their flag to transgender ideology support. Transgender. Someone sent me a meme today, a very close friend. It said, Democrats refuse to discipline their kids. Spankings. Because it's dangerous for their mental health. But then they turn around and have them cut off their nuts. Have them cut off their breasts. Have them take drugs that warp their minds and stop their physiology, their development. Unbelievable. That's who these people are. When it comes down to being rainbow friendly, there's only one reason to be rainbow friendly, folks, because you've got a fucking mental problem and you're a sexual deviant. Now, look, you want to have sex? Great. Nothing wrong with a good hard fuck. But these people want to involve children. And there's no way to excuse that. Right? There's no way to excuse it. Thank you, Mr. Diving Frog. Yeah, the Pope is going to continue to be big news for another 24 hours. And then we'll be past that 72-hour news cycle, and everyone will absolutely forget about the Pope. Absolutely. But someone like Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, she has so much going on that there is no 72-hour news cycle for her. She is an absolute fraudster, a cheat, a liar. She, I think if you sign a form, it's perjury if you lie. And she has lied an awful lot about her real estate, where she lives, her loans, etc. And today, while she was trying to speak, she, Letitia James, Attorney General for New York, Democrat, who sat by and tried destroying President Trump, she is getting heckled publicly now. Asked a question that just stumped her, right? Because the FBI is investigating her mortgage fraud. She needs to be arrested. You see, if you committed mortgage fraud or I committed mortgage fraud, there wouldn't be a big investigation. They would just fucking arrest us, would they not? It is the hypocrisy of government. And it's on full display. There are rules for you little people. There's rules for us little people. But if you're a big shot, like Jasmine Crockett, you can lie your fucking ass off. You can commit assault on someone and not be arrested. You can make the most racist, asinine, ridiculous, inflammatory, race-baiting, violent-baiting comments, and you won't be expelled. But if your name is George Santos, a Republican congressman, they will expel you for, I guess, making a false claim about being Jewish or something. Little bit ridiculous, but this is the world we live in. A world of blatant evil and hypocrisy coming from government. It's not just DC, folks. It's everywhere. It's California, Oregon, and Washington. It's Colorado and New Mexico. It's Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, New York. Fuck, all of New England is loaded with these fuck nuts. And they are not your friends. I hope you are prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Please get prepared. Go to thepreparedmind.club. CLUB. That is our channel. And that is our store. And we don't have a warehouse because we don't have that kind of money. We're not about warehousing things. We're about making sure you have the means to find what you need. Okay, let's do it. I think it is, whose turn is it? Is it my turn? It's Uman's turn. He made the call. Democrat Representatives Menendez and Watson. No shit, Watson. They broke into a New Jersey Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility. The mayor of Newark, New Jersey, was arrested by the Department of Homeland Security. When the gates opened for buses to come in, they stormed in. And why weren't the reps arrested as well? Interesting, huh? The mayor of Newark was arrested, but Democrat representatives Menendez and Watson were not. Do they get immunity? The congressmen and congresswomen get immunity? I'd like to know. I have no idea why they didn't. They may have flashed their diplomatic identification and said, hey, we're here in a congressional investigation. You don't fucking touch us. They may have pulled some shit like that. But the mayor of Newark is not federal, whereas congressmen are, well, they're federal representatives, right? They're national representatives. They're representing blah, blah, blah. And that may be why they didn't get arrested. But it certainly is interesting how they can trespass. Now, I'm a member of the civilian population, just like you guys. Out here in the civilian world, if I walk along the street and I see a police department, a sheriff's department building, if I enter that property, they can kick me out. And I can say, this is public property. They say, no, it's government property. And if I don't leave, they will arrest me for trespassing. Mayor of Newark, trespassing on federal property. He has no business there. Interesting. I also wonder if he threatened them. I also wonder, did he assault somebody? Get a little touchy. Democrats think they can assault people, push people around, go, don't you know who I am? Right? They're pretty good at pulling that type of shit and consequently getting arrested. I really think that these congressmen should have been arrested. They have arrested, I believe, Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Horseface Cortez. I think they've arrested them because they were intentionally trying to get arrested for the purposes of political pandering, if we can call it that. Anyways, thank you, Uman, for bringing that up once again, showing us the hypocrisy and the two-tier legal system in this country. It is no longer the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave. It is land of the enslaved and home of the hiding braves. There's a lot of brave people out there, but it's not time, not yet. No, it isn't. Now, we have Judge Janine. She's in Washington. She's going to be a judge. Hold your breath. Tell me how many shades of blue, purple, red, and black you turn before someone gets arrested. Where's Kash Patel? Where's Pam Bondi? Where's Dan Bongino? Where's the Epstein files? Where's the P. Diddy files? Where's the flight logs? Where's the data? Where's the arrests, the arrest? We're getting nothing from them. However, it looks like we're actually getting some action out of the least likely, shall we say, executive law enforcement type member. And that would be Tulsi Gabbard. I'm still not a huge Tulsi Gabbard fan, but she's doing something, for Pete's sake. She is revealed as the Director of National Intelligence 11 investigations, not one investigation, but 11 active investigations. What is she investigating through her office? Intelligence leaks and deep state sabotage of the president's administration. This is interesting. It's also shocking. At the same time, there's always that invisible line. You can't see it, but politicians love to bark and run to that line. And they get to the end of their fucking leash and they just bark and bark and bark, but they can never get over it and go arrest somebody. If Tulsi Gabbard can refer someone criminally and get them fucking arrested, I will sing her praises. She can do it. She has the ability. She has the intelligence. She probably has the integrity. I don't like her position on the Second Amendment, but that is not in her purview. It's not up for debate. What is up for debate is, can she do her job and arrest these motherfuckers? I really hope she can. America needs to see arrests of these corrupt pieces of shit. And I'm tired of them arresting no-name dumbasses. You and I, we know who the bad guys are. You're aware, are you, that J.P. Morgan, the bank called J.P. Morgan, laundered money, did not file proper paperwork for suspicious activities, SARCs, suspicious activity reporting, on people who were funneling money into and out of Jeffrey Epstein's island and his organizations. If you do more than $2,000, they're supposed to start paperwork. I'm sure they did more than $2,000 worth of business down there. But like I said, there's rules for thee and, well, no rules for the rich people. Arrest. Give me a fucking arrest. Someone. Big time. Big time. Is it going to happen? I have not given up hope, folks. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold my breath. Not doing it. I want a hero to step up, folks. I want someone to step in like fucking Wyatt Earp and just start guns a-blazing. OK Corral, just people just blazing away. I want some scumbag, Democrat or Republican, criminal, to get arrested. Hell, even fight back. Hell, I'll even get violent with guns. Did you know that the family members of the Illinois governor, Prickster, are involved heavily with Jeffrey Epstein? That's my understanding. Prickster, heavily involved with Epstein and Epstein's buddies and partners and that whole gang. Geez, a big, fat, slimy piece of shit like Prickster. I never would have guessed that he's got something. Except, yeah, didn't Obama order $65,000 in pizza and hot dogs for Washington, D.C. party at the White House? Ordered it from Chicago, which is in Illinois, which is a state run by Prickster who has ties to Jeffrey Epstein. It's not hard math to do. Someone needs to show this math to Pam Bondi. I still think she's dirty. Prove me wrong, Pam. Arrest somebody big. Chicken shit cowards. Every last one of them. They're fucking cowards. All right, let us move on if we shall. I think Bill Gates, who is also an Epstein Island good buddy. Oh, no. I was just down with Jeffrey Epstein talking philanthropy. Yeah, because Epstein was known for giving money away to poor people. Just like Hillary Clinton, they took in billions of dollars through their Clinton Foundation, their Clinton initiatives. And I think they built 4 houses or something like that for people in Haiti. Billions of dollars. Where'd it go? Well, gee whiz. Anyways, back to Bill Gates. He's claiming that he's going to give away 99% of his money by the year 2045. That's 20 years from now. Bill Gates, I don't know, is going to be close to 90 by then. And he already is starting to look like one of George Soros's hemorrhoids. But by then, who cares? I mean, the amount of money you have to spend on a daily basis to just get to $1 billion is incredible. How do you spend $3 million a day? $3 million a day. How do you spend that much money every single day for year after year? You can't. These people, you can't do it. You can't. They have so much money, they can't give it away. And when they claim they're going to give it away, they're just fucking lying. There is zero intent on them giving it away. All right, let's do this. Let's get back over to you guys. What do you want to talk about? Questions, comments down below. And it is U.S. Viking Warrior. You should be following this guy on X. I do. Anyways, welcome, Viking. He says the charge against the mayor of Newark is criminal trespass. He should spend 4 years in the DC jail. Holy shit. Look at that. Consistent criminal prosecution and sentencing. You're absolutely correct. Because the January 6th protesters on January 6, 2021, in Washington, D.C., federal property, kind of like the ICE property, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that's federal property. All they did was criminal trespass. There was no insurrection. Nobody was charged with insurrection and found guilty because it was bullshit. There's no fucking insurrection. But yeah, this guy, criminal trespass. He should spend 4 years in a D.C. jail before he's even arraigned or charged with anything. Not only should he spend 4 years in the D.C. jail, he should spend it in the bottom floors where the January 6th protesters were stuck, where sewers regularly back up, where the fresh water doesn't really exist for the sink, where there's no air conditioning, where there's mold growing and filth and bugs and pests and pestilence and disgustingness. He should be denied legal representation. He should be denied due process. But wait, maybe Chief Justice John Roberts of the Supreme Court of the United States, maybe that son of a bitch has woken up and won't allow due process violations for a Democrat mayor. There is a judicial coup d'etat, a judicial insurrection, and it is happening right now. Right now, as we speak, they're continuing to go over their plans, figure out how to fuck over the country and fuck over Trump. And they don't care what you think. Until they are removed from office or arrested, nothing will change. President Javier Milei of Argentina, President Bukele of El Salvador, need to get on the phone with Trump. Hey, bro, if you want to fix your country, you can't just be cool and cut bureaucratic spending. You must get rid of the illegal behavior coming from the bench. Get rid of your fucked up judges. And that's exactly what they did in El Salvador. And problem solved. Thank you, U.S. Viking Warrior. Great hearing from you, man. Great hearing from you. Now, this one got me. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? Kanye West. What's his nickname? Yee? Y-E? Yee? Kanye? Yee? It's kind of like P. Diddy and the Didster and the Boy Diddler. That's what P. Diddy should stand for, is P. Diddler of boys. Anyways, Kanye released an incredibly bizarre and fucked up music video on, of all days, Victory Day in Europe. And the video, I think, is titled Heil Hitler. What the fuck is that about? It's almost like people in the music industry have lost their fucking minds. Wow. I don't get it. I don't know what the message was. I tried watching the video, folks. I made it about 30 seconds, and I don't understand. It makes no sense. It's not art. It's not music. There's nothing intelligent about it. It's just shit these days. Celebrating shit. Does that sound right? Does that sound right about, like, let's see, I don't know. Let's see, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, sloppy wet pussy girl that sings that song. All of these disgusting bitches and dudes in the music industry. Everything that they talk about and sing about is satanic, over the top, related sexually, and they're just fucking weirdos, literally. Now, what is not weird is actually having refugees come to this country that you can agree with. Now, Trump wants to bring refugees into America. Does this upset you? Well, no, because I didn't give you very much information. If I said he's going to bring in refugees from some radical Muslim country that supports terrorism and hates us, yeah, we'd get pissed off because that's what we've been getting. Well, how about South African people who have been being attacked, systematically murdered, and the government of South Africa is actually encouraging it and promoting the idea of murdering these farmers. So yes, Trump has green-lighted the resettlement, or maybe they're using that term, resettlement, rather than migration, or I'm sorry, asylum seekers, which is what it sounds like they are, because South Africa is an anti-white, anti-civilization country that wants to murder people. So what do you think of that? I find it to be a good thing that we're helping people to not be murder victims. Now, every last one of these South Africans, whether they're black or white, doesn't matter to me. If they come to this country and they become productive, good. Let them earn also their citizenship. Make them take an oath. And I think anyone who is here from another country, right, should be forced to give up citizenship in their other country. I'm tired of this dual citizenship. Anyways, enough of my crap. Let's get back to you guys. What is on your mind? We're past the half-hour mark, so we're in the bottom half of the hour, and it's Redneck Roughneck. And he says, hey, Governor Kathy Hochul. That's the New York governor bitch. She's opening up, she's creating a $10 million fund for what she considers to be lawfare from the Trump administration against Big Tish. So, isn't this interesting? The governor of New York is creating a fund. Now, Redneck Roughneck, is that $10 million? Is that public funding? In other words, using taxpayer money? Or is she doing a give, send, go fund? Well, the way I read it, it sounds like it's probably going to end up being taxpayer money. Lawfare against Letitia James. The bitch is committing mortgage fraud, real estate fraud. She's a fucking slumlord. She's a liar. She has got some big problems. Letitia James is a giant sack of liberal shit. She is a big, brutish, manly, ugly-looking fucking thing. And I don't like her. I don't like her. I am sick of these fucking Democrats. Right? They say beauty is only skin deep, folks. Ugly goes to the bone. Yes, it does. Interesting stuff going on in the world. Thank you, Redneck Roughneck. This is a big one. Trump apparently has created a truce with the Houthis, who have been firing on, well, U.S. and other nations' cargo ships, oil tankers, as well as military ships. Interesting. Trump bombed the shit out of them. And everyone thought, see, there goes Trump. He's doing exactly what the Israelis want. Well, guess what? Israeli officials are pissed off. They're upset. They're shocked. Because, well, Trump is trying to work out a truce with the Houthis. I think that's a fine idea if it can be enforced. But apparently Trump is pissed at Netanyahu. That means Israel, folks, because Israel has been trying to drag our military, our country, and our president into a military conflict. Now, see, the Houthis allegedly, supposedly, according to intelligence officials, is the Iranian military down in Somalia. So yeah, there's not a lot of love there. So I would think everyone who thinks that Trump is an Israeli stooge, an Israeli puppet, it's hard to change people's minds, folks. But watch what happens. Trump doesn't like war. I know he likes to talk shit, typical New Yorker. He likes to fucking rattle people's cages. He likes to trigger them and troll them. But I don't think he's a traitor. We'll find out, though, right? All it takes is time. But time is something that is at a premium. It's at a premium. Here we go. Here we go. Mr. Uman, where do we want to roll this next? Who's up? Right here. And looks like he's got his hands crossed. So he'll be back in a minute. And what do you guys think? I mean, I talked about it earlier. Not one, but two states want to adopt the LGBTQIA minor attracted pedophiles. They want their flags. Official city flags, I guess. Not state flags, but city flags. Have you guys noticed that the word fag is in the word flag? Anyways, every time I see a trans flag, a flagget flag, any of these flags, it just pisses me off. I wouldn't say it triggers me, but it certainly pisses me off. I'm sick of these people. They need to go away. They really do. Now, back to the Supreme Court. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, the fat Latina piece of shit Democrat socialist scumbag. You could call her a liberal if you want. She, after Chief Justice John Roberts publicly tried slapping Trump, she decided she was going to take a shot at Trump. That is now two Supreme Court justices. One, a flaming Democrat. The other one, a two-bit traitorous, treasonous, side-switching piece of crap, John Roberts. Both of them had decided they're going to make their disagreements with Trump known. I thought Supreme Court justices were impartial and above the political fray. Nope, not true, folks. We are in the middle of a judicial coup d'etat, a judicial insurrection. Sotomayor, Supreme Court Justice. She spoke at the American Bar Association in Washington, D.C. The American Bar Association is not impartial. It's a legal guild, but they are liberal as fuck. So Sotomayor told lawyers there that were attending this ABA meeting that she wants them to stand up and fight against who? Well, Trump. She says, quote, "Our job is to stand up for people who can't do it themselves. And our job is to be the champion of lost causes." Those two statements alone should get her removed from the Supreme Court. It is not the Supreme Court's job to stand up for people, anybody. Their job is to determine whether or not something is ruled in accordance with the United States Constitution. That's her fucking job. When she continued and said, "Our job is to be the champion of lost causes," nowhere in the United States Constitution or the Declaration of Independence does it say anything about lost causes. Does it say that they're supposed to be champions of anything? That they're supposed to stand up for it? They're not. This was incredible. Now, her reference was allegedly in response to Trump having law firms have their security clearances removed because they're deep state agencies, these law firms that have access to sensitive information, and then they use it to attack Trump, to attack Republicans that don't behave. In other words, these lawyers are a bunch of fucking hacks who want government insider information so they can keep opposition down. So Sotomayor, a Supreme Court justice, is telling lawyers in fucking Washington, D.C. to stand up and fight against Trump. Here's some more of this dumb bitch's statements. But right now, we can't lose the battles we are facing. And we need trained and passionate and committed lawyers to fight this fight. Woo! Quite interesting, huh? She is telling lawyers to fight for lost causes. You want a lost cause? Communism is a lost fucking cause. Over 200 years ago, communism was invented by Karl Marx, a Jewish communist, anti-government, anti-freedom, anti-life piece of shit. He was a loser, Karl Marx was. An incredible loser and a flop. He was a worthless sack of shit. Yet, he put down communism as a political idea. And they've been trying it for the last 200 years. The first successful takeover was of Russia, where the adherents of communism, most of them Jewish, Bolsheviks, murdered up to 70 million people. The estimates are far and wide, folks. It's not just Russia, it's all of the Eastern and Baltic states, right? Ukraine, Georgia, all of the Stan countries, Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, Poland, Hungary, Romania, all of these countries got taken over and people murdered. Let me remind you what Chief Justice John Roberts said. The judiciary is a co-equal branch of government, separate from the others, with the authority to interpret the Constitution as law and strike down, obviously, acts of Congress or acts of the president. Well, if you can take away their power and authority, both in Congress and in the executive branch, then they are not co-equal. They are superior to. And he says they can strike them down. They have the authority to interpret the Constitution. You know what Justice John Roberts, that sack of shit, did? He interpreted Obamacare not as a legislative act requiring you, forcing you to participate in an insurance scheme to enrich the insurance companies. He called it, no. You don't have to do that. There's just a special tax if you don't obey. So he called Obamacare a tax. That is how intellectually vagrant he is. Unbelievable. Uman, who wants to step up? Who's got something to say out there? And we want to say, H. Lynn, I am not a bot, pissed off American. And the comment here is, what's an oath? Don't all our politicians take one? Are they abiding by it? What is an oath? I've taken several oaths in my life. All veterans have taken an oath. An oath is a promise sworn over something that is meaningful, eternal, something that someone wouldn't dare violate. So you take an oath with your hand on the Bible and you say, I do solemnly swear, meaning I'm swearing to God Almighty. That's an oath, right? Taking an oath on the Bible. That's why politicians bring their own Bible. It's funny, a lot of them have their hand floating above it. a lot of these faggot supporters bring in pedophilia books and they take an oath on that. So you say, don't all our politicians take one? Yes, but do they do it properly? Chief Justice John Roberts fucked up President Trump's oath of office, intentionally taking off and starting the bullshit before it was done properly. Now, could Trump have retaken the oath in the sanctuary of the Oval Office? Of course. But it was a big statement, I think, by Chief Justice John Roberts to be disrespectful to our country, our republic, to our Constitution, to the president, and also to God Almighty. And in conclusion, H. Lynn, no, these politicians are not abiding by their oaths. They're not living up to their sworn promise to obey, protect, uphold the Constitution. They're fucking liars and they're hypocrites. They're liars and they're hypocrites, and they violated their oath. They haven't even come close. And that's what we've got, folks. We've got a bunch of liars and traitors in Washington, D.C., and it's going to take a hero. Now, Trump has been heroic, has he not? Took a bullet through the ear, fought against all of these law charges, bullshit lawsuits, an attack by the former administration. He's fought them all. Won, took office, and what? He's getting shit on by these other people who don't live up to their oath and don't do their fucking jobs. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. Do your fucking jobs. Be the heroes you're supposed to be. Can you imagine being put in a position, a historic position of power and authority at a time when America and the world and freedom and Constitution needs a patron, needs a hero to step up and fix the problems? You see, you and I think about fixing problems. That's what we do. We want to fix problems. But these people, they take an oath, they lie, they don't do their jobs. They're not there to fix problems. They're there to smooth over the wrinkles, to kind of lift the carpet and sweep the problems under there for later when we get a Democrat back in office or the Democrat Party back in power. Don't worry, they will come after us. They will come after Trump. It's going to be interesting. You know, in the last couple of days, two important people have kind of passed out while presenting things publicly. Down in Florida, I believe a state senator was trying to speak and she passed out. Fortunately, the Surgeon General was standing right there and caught her, helped her out. And then the former Trump administration participant, Cameron Kinsey, she collapsed live on air. Are we going to start seeing more and more of these people passing out? My guess, right out the gate, Jim Jones juice. Now, I understand that if you stand and lock your knees, you can pass out. I keep hearing this. Oh, you can pass out from that. Well, as a jarhead, as a Marine, we stand in formation, at attention, for many, many minutes, sometimes hours at a time. And you're not allowed to move or shuffle or adjust your legs. No such thing. And I never saw anyone ever pass out, fall down, or anything. I've heard of it. I've heard it happens. Never seen it. We have seen a whole lot of that from the Jim Jones juice. News reporters, politicians. Fuck, the first nurse who took it on live television passed out and fucking died. Jim Jones juice. Why, and why? It's just getting crazy, folks. It's just getting crazy. Let's continue. Uman, We got about 10 minutes left. Lots to discuss. Mikey G steps up and says, remember Representative Adam Klitstinger's predictions? Targeted unaliving. Yeah. Adam Kitzinger, I believe, from Illinois, a fake Republican, another rhino who was on the January 6th committee, who hid evidence, destroyed evidence, lied about evidence, made up a bunch of bullshit. He and that other rhino sack of shit, Liz Piggy Cheney, yeah, they want, well, unaliving, folks, is the same as saying assassinated. It is the exact equivalent, except it's a different word, so I guess it's not a threat. Unbelievable, folks. Yeah. Adam Kinzinger. I like calling him Klitstinger, the same way Eric Swallowswell from California, another scumbag. These people need to be called out for what they are and who they are. They're not good people. They're losing, even though they're continuing this attack on Trump, they're losing support because they make no fucking sense. They make no sense. Jen Psaki has lost over 50% of her key demographic in her audience. She has fewer viewings than the Learning Channel's, quote, My Strange Addiction show. Isn't that interesting? Interesting. Well, the Department of Justice, I'm going to agree with this investigation. This is an important one. The DOJ is now investigating the Sharia city in Texas, right next to Dallas, that has mega mosque and Sharia compliant schools. What is a Sharia compliant school? Is that where 50-year-old Muslim men can go rape 9-year-old girls? Is that what that is? Or do they have to marry them first and then they can rape them? They need to investigate this, find out what laws have been violated, what rules were omitted from the requirements. In fact, there needs to be national outrage against these Sharia plans and this idea to have Sharia law and Sharia schools. This is America, the United States of America. It is and has been a Christian-based nation. These Muslims are telling us, they flat out come out and say, we're going to outpopulate you. We're going to take control of cities through political appointments, through political elections, and we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. And when we have enough power, we're just going to come into your house, whether you like it or not. You will have no rights. There's going to be trouble, folks. There's going to be trouble. Now, what do you guys think is most important? What do you think is most important in this country? Still, do we need to get the illegals out that were brought in? Do we need to stop this Sharia law takeover by Muslims? Do we need the Jeffrey Epstein files and Jeffrey Epstein clients and all these pedophiles prosecuted? Is any one of these things more important than the other? I don't think so. I think they're all important and they can all be done concurrently at the same time. Now, Stephen Miller, who's the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, they're looking at suspending habeas corpus when it comes to matters of immigration, illegal immigration, because of the war that federal courts are now waging on President Trump. And it actually came out today, the accusation that the judges, the federal judges that are opposed to everything that Trump is doing, are actually being controlled by the U.S. Senate. And the U.S. Senate is under the dominion of Republican power. So how is that possible? Well, it's possible, folks, because the Senate is not appointing Trump judges. They're not doing their jobs. They're sitting back and letting the Democrat federal judges do whatever the fuck they want. So it is a judicial war against the executive, the president. I think they need to suspend habeas corpus when it comes to immigration matters, because immigrants don't have constitutional rights. They are not Americans. Period. Crazy stuff, folks. Crazy stuff. I mean, President Trump, right, is trying to encourage these illegals to get the fuck out with a self-deportation setup. And they're leaving, folks, right? They're leaving pretty fast, but not fast enough. But Trump now wants to bring in another 10,000 officers. I'm all for getting rid of these illegals. I'm also all for the Epstein files being released and people being arrested. I still don't understand, except I do understand. There are so many people in the federal government in positions of power that they cannot allow this to start, because once it starts, it's like taking a pipe patch off a pipe and it just sprays water everywhere. And then it erodes and just tears everything apart. It's going to be fucking great. Okay, let's continue. Uman, I know I'm running out of time. Let's get to another question out there. Who's up next? Who is picked? And Uman says, hey, the Newark airport got hit by another radar outage this morning. The cause was a data line from Philadelphia. They're saying they weren't hacked. I don't trust them. I don't believe them. They're all fucking liars. They're also diversity, equity, and inclusion hires. Newark. What else happened? Oh, yeah. The mayor of Newark was arrested. Government is failing us, folks, at every turn, which is why I say you need to be prepared. Right? Hey, this was a data line. Oh, so communications could go down. Not just for airports, folks. The entire internet could go down. How are you going to communicate without the internet today? You're going to tune into a local radio station to get the same left-wing shit? Go to thepreparedmind.club, look into communications gear. Get a world band radio. Get communication so you can talk to the people around you that you need to. Walkie-talkies. CB, Citizens Band. Shortwave or ham radio. Get it, folks. Other things that can go down: electricity. At the club we give you links to get you to solar power. You can't run an entire house on it, but you can run enough to survive, to live on. In the RMZ, I survived for a couple of days with a 5-watt solar panel that was about 8 inches by 8 inches. And it worked. It kept my phone charged. And I had another 13-watt panel that charged a battery that helped things run. It doesn't take a lot of power to run communications devices, some lights, and just one panel. One 300-watt panel will charge a battery and keep a small refrigerator, a mini fridge going. Look into it, folks, because government is full of incompetence. Government is also willing to shut us down and cut the cord at any time over anything because it suits them. It suits them. The Democrats are dangerous, folks. They're absolutely dangerous and hate-filled, right? In fact, a screwball, off the hook, Karen of a Democrat leftist, right, spit at Ed Martin and was promptly arrested by the U.S. Marshals. There should be more arrests of these fucking people, more deportations, more school visas revoked from these left-wing idiots, right? These Democrats, folks, they're out of fucking control. They're out of control. I hope you are prepared for what's coming next. I will see you, folks, Sunday Night Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be back. Between now and then, Well, I've got some chores to do around the old bunker. And then Sunday, Florida is supposed to get hammered with a huge rainstorm. I wonder if something bad is going to happen. Anyways, in any event, folks, get prepared. It's not going to get better. It's going to get stupider. Are you ready for what comes next? And of course, I want to thank everybody who has been shopping at the club. I want to thank those who have sent cash donations through CashApp, PayPal, and Venmo. It's down below. You guys have been great. You keep the channel going. You keep the lights on. You keep the Spam and the tuna fish in the pantry, and you keep us prepared. I can't do it without you folks. You've been great. So thank you for all that you do for everyone here at the show, as well as everyone else on the network who's watching and learning and sharing with others. Let's wake everyone up. Let's get prepared, because chance favors the prepared mind.